and today we're talking about the giant panda. So first off, what are pandas? And it is actually part of the bear family. It is a large mammal with distinctive black and white fur. Their diet consists 99% of bamboo, and for bamboo, they eat between 26 and 83 pounds every single day. Their lifespan in the wild is between 18 and 20 years, and they can live up to 30 years in captivity. Where are pandas? Pandas are native to the mountains of central China, such as Gansu Province, Sichuan Province, in the mountains of Minshan, and in Shanxi Province, in the mountains of Qinling. Why are the pandas there? These areas are very mountainous and dense with bamboo forests. The elevation is between 1,500 meters and 3,500 meters. The Minshan Mountains have the highest density of wild pandas in the world, and the Qinling Mountains are homes to the subspecies of the brown panda. Giant pandas are endangered, but thankfully in 2021 the pandas were promoted from endangered to vulnerable, but are still threatened. So you can see on our chart here, they have been recently moved from endangered to vulnerable, but they're still within that threatened category. How many giant pandas are there? In the wild, we can see in this data that the number between 1974 and 1977 was pretty high. It was up to 2,500 individuals in the wild. But then by the next survey, they found between 1985 and 1988 that the population had gone down nearly to 1,000 in the wild. Since then, many laws have been enacted in order to boost population. And so we have seen in the two following surveys that the numbers keep increasing. In terms of the captive population, they have only started doing surveys starting in 2015 and have gone to 2023. They started with around 400 pandas and are now all the way up to nearly 750 pandas in captive. For their temperament, they are gentle, laid-back giants. They are calm, they like to lounge around and forage, and they're rather playful. They are also non-aggressive unless provoked, and they are solitary animals. They are highly territorial, particularly with food. Did you know that pandas have a false thumb that helps them grip and maneuver their bamboo? They also have ultrasonic hearing, which is even better than a polar bear's, even though their ears don't move. Many other bear species have the ability to move their ears around, but the panda bears do not. But despite this, they still have really, really fantastic hearing. And this is so that their mating calls can be heard even across mountains. As they are solitary animals, they have to hear one another in the wild. Part of that is through having fantastic hearing. So, going through their growth, starting at the newborn, they are very, very small, 1/800th of the size of their mother. And to get their mom's attention, they cry really, really loud when they are first born. This is so that the mother can know where they are and not accidentally squish them or roll over them. And a newborn can't defecate on its own and needs help from their moms or keepers. At around 4 months, the pandas then start learning to crawl, up until 6 months old, when the pandas will start learning to eat bamboo. As a young cub, the pandas learn various skills from their mother, including running, rolling, and climbing trees. At around 1.5 years old, the pandas leave their mom and begin exploring the world independently. At around 5 years old, the pandas become an adult, ready to breed and have its own territory. A panda's digestive system. The pandas need to eat a large amount of bamboo due to less efficient digestion, due to the fact that they eat plants, but they technically aren't herbivores. The bite force of the giant panda is much stronger than that of other bears. It belongs to the order Carnivora, and they still have the large canines of their carnivorous ancestors, even though bamboo is their primary food, and they chew it with broad molars that they have evolved. So we can see here a grizzly bear, a polar bear, and a panda bear, and a little surprisingly, the panda bear has the strongest bite of any of these bears. So do giant pandas hibernate? Giant pandas do not hibernate. They have fur, which is very thick and provides terrific heat and helps insulate them in the colder months in China. They also have abundant food. Many species of bamboo lives in the wintertime as well, and so they are able to continuously eat bamboo throughout the year. There are many China conservation and research centers for the giant panda throughout China. Their cultural significance to Chinese culture. A total of 24 pandas from between 1957 and 1983 were given to 9 different nations. However, they stopped that after 1983 and then have started loaning them out. The first panda to reach U.S. soil is Sulin from San Francisco in December of 1936. Ruth Harkness brought her as a cub. Currently, only 4 pandas remain in the U.S. as of October 2024. So where can I see pandas? The best way to see pandas is to go to China. There are 67 panda reserves, most of which fall under the umbrella of the Giant Panda National Park. Among these, the most famous are Wonong Panda Research Center, the first panda reserve in China established in 1963, the Bifengxia Giant Panda Base, the largest panda base in China. They have more than 80 giant pandas at all times in their facility, and the Chengdu Research Base of Giant Panda Breeding, which is the most popular, by far, panda base in China. Looking deeper into the Chengdu Research Base of Giant Panda Breeding, it opened in 1987, and they started with 6 giant pandas, and then by the time 2008 came around, the number had grown to 33 full-time pandas. However, a majority of the pandas are rescued from the wild, rehabilitated, and then re-released. So at any given point, you can see more than just the 33, but 33 of them live there full-time. The Chengdu Research Base of Giant Panda Breeding has giant panda enclosures, giant panda museum, as well as red panda enclosures.